Do you ever get jealous of others? Does that make you feel like you're a bad person? Jealousy can be used for personal growth instead of as a reason to beat yourself up. You're listening to Pure Light, where we explore how to become the highest version of yourself so that you feel worthy of your craziest dreams and confident in your power to make them happen. My name is Ailey. I'm a coach and a Kundalini yoga and meditation teacher. This is episode 44, and it's about the upside of jealousy. So jealousy is something that can make you really angry and frustrated with yourself, because when it comes up and you don't have a way to process it and deal with it, there's usually some level of judgment of yourself within it. So some level of, I shouldn't want what someone else wants or what someone else has. And that's usually followed by some kind of assessment of how you're a bad person for being jealous. And when you learn to use jealousy as a tool for personal growth, all of that stuff goes away. So I want to share with you a story of when I first noticed the absence of jealousy in my life at a time where I would have normally expected to feel jealous. Because I used to be jealous of like a lot of people, especially other women, because I've talked about this before, but I had major body image issues. And so I was constantly comparing myself to others and always finding some way in which I was inferior, which then made me jealous. So when I first noticed the absence of jealousy, that was like a huge thing for me. So when I was a management consultant, I wanted to get promoted as quickly as possible. And I wanted to make it to manager, because manager to me, that's an executive level. And so I kept thinking that if I made it to manager, I would feel confident. So I would feel better about myself. And I've talked about this, I think, in a previous episode. But what ended up happening was the year that I was up legitimately, I did not get that promotion, even though they had wanted to put me up early the year before. And at that time, when I got rejected for that promotion, I was dating someone, and we'd been dating for almost 9 years at that point in time. And he was also up for that same promotion, because we had both been at the same company for the same amount of time in different departments, but we were both up for that promotion, and we were both expecting to get it. And he ended up getting it when I didn't. And that was the first time that I could really separate the disappointment I had for myself and what I had just failed at from my happiness and excitement for someone else. And that was the first time that I noticed that absence of jealousy. And it was kind of an interesting experience. Like, it made me feel like, wow, I'm like an adult now or something. Because I think that if I had stayed in that jealous and angry place, like it would have been really unhealthy for us. And ironically, we ended up breaking up a couple months after that, but it wasn't because of jealousy. It was because of other things. But anyway, jealousy isn't a sign that you're a bad person. It's a sign that you're human. It shows you where you aren't living up to your potential, and it points to your unfulfilled desires. So instead of using it as a reason to feel badly about yourself and to judge yourself and say, I shouldn't be jealous, look at it as one of your teachers. So here are a few questions you can ask yourself to do that. So who am I jealous of? Because admitting it is the first step. What is it that they have that I want? And what do I think would be different about my life if I had that? And then finally, how can I provide that for myself? So if I look at these questions and answer them for myself, that first time that I noticed the absence of jealousy, I think that the thing that I thought would be different about my life if I had gotten that promotion was the fact that I would feel confident about my abilities. And so it wasn't really the promotion itself that I was craving. It was a greater sense of confidence. And so what I ended up doing was building that up for myself in other ways without getting the job title to provide that for me kind of in a superficial way. But here's another example of answering those questions. So if you're single and you're jealous of someone in a relationship, you may think that what you want is a relationship. And that may be true, but it may not be as well. Because if you ask yourself, what would be different about my life if I had that? You may find that what you really want is more attention or more connection, or maybe even more of a social life. Because any of those things you might find through a relationship, or they may be things that you can find through other means, like a community or even a meditation practice that provides you with a sense of connection. So never assume that you're a bad person for being jealous. Ask yourself, what is this really about? And get to the root of what you truly desire so that you can figure out how to give that to yourself. In the next episode, I'll share a Kundalini meditation practice to help you act and not react so that you can stay in a neutral state and build your capacity to stay centered and grounded when you feel triggered by things like jealousy or other strong emotions. If you want to make sure that you don't miss it, subscribe wherever you're listening. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, may you be guided by your light.